MacVoices is supported by Smile, the makers of world-class software like Text Expander. Find out about all their great utilities at smilesoftware.com. MacVoices is in Las Vegas for NAB and ShowStoppers. I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, every time I come to Las Vegas, I run into Larry O'Connor of OWC. Larry, it's good to see you.
Yeah, always a pleasure, Chuck.
Do you live here, or do you just visit here frequently?
I visit here more often than one would think, but no, I don't live here.
There are worse things than coming to Vegas, right?
This is very true, although the show this year is kind of odd. I mean, starting on a Sunday, it's a little more impact to family this year.
Yeah, understood.
You got to be here and love being here. This is why we're here.
Well, every time we come, you have something new to show us, and this time you have a breakout box that a lot of us have been kind of waiting for if we do video.
Absolutely. Forever we've been locked in to whatever GPU has been literally soldered inside our Mac. Now, for the first time, about a year ago, the support started to come out, and now it's official with the current OS. You can plug, using the Helios FX, you can plug in a new GPU into a 2016 or later Mac. So just because that GPU card is no longer has a horsepower, doesn't support the codec, whatever it may be that's holding you back, now you're no longer limited to what's soldered. You can plug in virtually anything you need external.
Okay, so this is going to obviously impact video editors. Who else does it impact?
People are looking to do VR, doing AR. There's some impact to gaming, but affecting anybody who's running into a bottleneck where the GPU is. Look at what's happened with the new H265 on older systems. Got an older system, all of a sudden the GPU inside says, I don't support this natively. Your processor can kind of support it, but it's not efficient. You have all these systems where the processors are great. The processor technology hasn't evolved that much where you need to buy a new Mac to get a new processor. It's the GPUs that continue to change. You buy a Mac now, and that GPU inside is no longer, doesn't quite give the support, doesn't give the performance, doesn't give the capability you need. You don't have to buy a new Mac. You can plug in a GPU card. And Apple's big time pushing into the augmented reality segment and the application they want to see develop for AR, which the Mac is that platform. And these make it very, very easy for those developers and users to plug in the GPU capability that otherwise isn't there.
Okay, now this is a breakout box, so it's an external box, but you don't have to have an iMac to plug it into. You can plug it in. You have it running here on a MacBook Pro. That's really exciting to me because even if I do have to carry around the breakout box, it means I retain the portability of my MacBook Pro and still can tap into this power.
Absolutely, and the other really cool thing, another aspect is, you're right, you can have that laptop anywhere you need it. When you need the horsepower to do the heavy lifting, when you're sitting down to actually work through that big project, you sit down at your desk, you plug in that box, and boom, that Mac is augmented.
So give us some tips about what we should know about this when we're going to buy it. As far as what cards should we look at? Are there driver concerns? All those kind of things.
Yeah, the cards that are supported, if it's Thunderbolt aware, the one thing to look for is Thunderbolt aware, and both NVIDIA and ATI are both actively supporting these Thunderbolt boxes, these eGPUs. They've done it for a long time on the PC side, and now on the Mac side, that support is there. And as far as drivers, today, the drivers for these high-end NVIDIAs, the high-end ATIs, they're shipping with the OS. You just need our box to put those cards in now. So ultimately, you're looking at the card, buy stuff that's current, make sure it's Thunderbolt aware. There are hacks and things. There's always workarounds in other ways, but the good cards are Thunderbolt aware. And the other thing, really the buying advice is look at the features of the card. Does it do it? Does it have the capabilities you need? You're no longer looking, is it Mac compatible? It's safe. It works in Thunderbolt, plug it in, and you go.
Now, I probably look at it very simplistically, and there may be other factors to it. I'm looking just for raw speed. Are there other considerations as far as what cards I pick up to put in this box?
The only other big consideration is power. We have a big power supply in this box, but even some of there are cards that even go beyond that. So watch the power, and those, again, you see usually those aren't Thunderbolt aware in the first place. They're designed for servers or other even higher end enterprise applications. But in terms of, it's really your application. It's really coming down to what you're using, what its requirements are, and you have a choice. You go back a few years, you can get any video cards. You still get video cards for the Silver Towers. You're very limited in your options. Today, to really make sure that there's support for AR and VR on the Mac platform, and making sure it's not a matter of Apple coming out and saying, well, we have something news out today. You're going to have to buy a new Mac to do it. You've got a great Mac. You've got plenty of processing horsepower. You buy the the GPU card that meets those application needs, meets that codec need, meets your budget, and meets the capabilities to serve what you need to do. So.
And to your point earlier, now this is something that if I change Macs, if I need to have my needs increase, I can just swap the cards out. I don't have to go and buy a whole new Mac.
Absolutely correct. And as we go forward, I mean, you can technically have a lower end system because a lot of these things are pretty light on the processor. They're very GPU intensive. You can really be in a case where you have a relatively low cost system that's portable that you use where you need to use, even for ingest, for light work, and then it plugs in and suddenly it's this super powered workstation that you have at home that you're upgrading and enhancing around it. Your primary investment doesn't have to be the machine. It's you add to what that machine can do as you need to do more.
It's as I would expect from OWC. It's a nice, clean-looking box. You mentioned the power supply. It's got a fairly large fan in it. Any noise considerations?
The large fan, in addition to keeping everything cool, you need power for those GPUs, you need cooling for those GPUs. The large fan actually keeps that box extremely silent. It's able to move a big volume of air without that. Long story short, we know Macs make no noise, so there's a much higher standard for all of our solutions. So the effort is to make these things effectively as quiet as the Mac, and I mean that's really what we've done here. So noise is what we get the most, everybody's most critical about today. And noise is something we pay very close attention to. So it cools very well, but very quietly.
Okay, so we have to get down to the nitty gritty. What kind of pricing are we talking about?
$299, so it's extremely reasonable.
Wow.
For Thunderbolt 3 chassis of this guy, I mean, it's we want everybody to have accessibility to it. This is the first, it's one of the first products of its kind in the market, and honestly, we want to make sure everybody's picking the OWC box. It's a great box, and it's an incredible price for what is, again, an incredible box.
Every time I talk to you, you cost me money.
Well, that's the wrong way to look. I save you money.
You save me. There we go. There's a salesman.
Instead of a $3,000 Mac, it's going to be a $300 box with a video card of your choice.
Got it.
And that's today and tomorrow and next year. Every time a new GPU, anyhow. I'd like to look at the savings side.
It's shipping now?
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Immediate availability direct from OWC as well as our resellers.
And I'll say it for you. The website is macsales.com.
Yes, sir. And check out everybody else who's selling the product too. I mean, on OWCdistro.com. So OWCdistro.com, macsales.com. Wherever you want to go, need to go, we're happy to go there, and we'll take care of you.
Larry, it's great to see you. Thanks for the time.
Hey, anytime, Chuck.
When will I see you again in Vegas?
Hopefully in a couple of days at our booth at Central Hall.
Well, yeah, that's true. Okay. Good point. Good. Thanks.
We got a lot more to show you, but this is a great kickoff.
I'll be by. Thanks a lot.
You're very welcome.
Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices at NAB in Las Vegas. Back with more soon. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our MacVoices Facebook group and get more out of your Apple Tech with MacVoices magazine, free on Flipboard. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us at patreon.com/MacVoices and join these folks who help keep MacVoices coming to you. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.